So what's the advantage of, have you ever seen those videos where people are at their hairdresser or their barber or however you want to call it? I think this is technically a hairdresser because barbers are a little bit more no frills. But what's the advantage of the people that light your hair on fire and then very rapidly comb it out? I ask you, Douglas.
Right.
Because you know.
Right, because I routinely light people's hair on fire.
This question is in no way rhetorical.
Right.
I need an answer from you.
Well, I'll tell you why I do it.
Okay, please.
I like the thrill of setting people on fire.
Right.
And it's really a challenge of, hey, like, this will be fun to try to beat the clock, so to speak. The clock being third-degree burns.
Right.
But hey, if I fail, no skin off my back. Skin off their head, no skin off my back.
It just seems so, like, maybe they just do it for the internet and they don't really do it because I don't know. There's also the clippers swinging like a pendulum.
Right.
To what end?
Well, I think in that instance, and this is just me speaking from experience once again.
As a licensed barber.
Right.
And esthetician.
You know the old swinging scythe routine from the Middle Ages?
Sure.
It's like that.
Oh, okay.
If we lop something off that ought not have been lopped off,
it'll grow back.
No skin on my back.
Right. Right.
What's a couple of years among friends?
I mean, I've been
Ask Van Gogh.
I've been saying it. It just seems weird. I don't know. Been watching a lot of internet videos, and that routinely comes up. I like watching people work with their hands in a job well done. So like barber videos come out a lot.
Okay.
Big fan of those, especially with like when it requires straight razor shaving and stuff like that.
Barbara Streisand.
Sure. And then I have also been really into restoration videos. Have you ever watched these restoration videos?
No, I have not.
Oh, they're fascinating. You should watch them. Very soothing, almost at like an ASMR level. I guess that's how I always said it was ASMR, but I've heard no less than 20 people in the past 2 weeks call it ASMR.
Well, those people are stupid because that's not a word.
Okay. So these ASMR videos, restoration videos.
You are also stupid.
I've been called worse.
And it's actually making me mad.
I've been called worse by better people.
Wow.
Where they take
you don't know anyone better than me.
That's
except Ben.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you said his name, I bet he calls in by the end of this episode.
Probably. Say his name 3 times.
Ben.
Dagobah.
Oh my god. But these restoration videos where these guys take like really like old, degraded, very rusted up tools or whatever. Usually it's like kitchen knives and stuff like that.
Right.
And they clean them up and they restore them. And they're usually like 20-25 minutes long. Absolutely spellbinding.
Really?
They are. I mean, they're really my bread and butter. It's like just completely captivating what happens there. The noises, because everything gets sped up like 5 or 6 times because, it's a process.
Yeah.
And it's like really interesting to see the different ways that different people do it.
So you see it like, excuse me, you just see it kind of like all come off very quickly to you, but it's actually taking like...
Yeah, after this we'll watch a quick one. But the kitchen knives are fun because everybody's got a different way that they do it, and knives are like a really easy thing because it's just a single piece of whatever. But like I watched some dude restore a rebar cutter from like the 30s, and that's multiple pieces. He had to like mill his own like nuts and bolts.
He had to mill his nuts.
Yeah, because, and this is the thing, is like the deeper you get into it, the more you kind of learn about like metalwork and stuff like that, and like how you treat steel and stuff like that. Like he was saying that he had to mill his own nuts and bolts because
Said it again.
nuts and bolts that you get at a department store or something like that, they are zinc coated. And so when you blew them, for you Arrested Development fans,
He had blue nuts.
when you blew them, which I don't remember exactly what the solution is, but it basically makes it resistant to like superficial cuts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Who fucking knew? But you can't.
Certainly not I.
You can't do that to zinc. I guess it doesn't hold. So you have to make sure that it's like real steel.
Zinc don't sink,
Like
as you were always saying.
You know, like the Gerard Butler movie. No, it wasn't Gerard Butler.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Same person. Yep, same person. Yeah, it's the same person.
A Scotsman and an Aussie.
Same person. What is Aussie if not Aussieland, if you will? If not the Wales? Nope. If not the Scots? Nope. If not the Scotland of the South?
Not the Scotch.
I mean, it is what it
I
is.
feel like New Zealand would be the Wales of the South.
Yeah, you might be right.
The Welsh.
The Welsh.
The Welshington. Like Wellington, but Welshington.
You're so clever.
Thank you.
I've always said that about you, Doug.
Because I'm better than you.
All right. And so it's a lot of stuff, but you can like use like just like regular sandpaper and different like hand tools to get the what have you off. Or some people, like there's one dude in particular that uses electrolysis.
I don't know what that is.
So you get like a pan.
Pan shot.
You basically you get a pan and then you pour some sort of powder all over it. I don't know if it's an acid or a base or something, but it's probably a base. But anyway, you pour that on and then you put in the water and then you hook it up to like a car battery or some shit, and electricity goes through it and it like separates all the impurities, the rust, from the good stuff, and then you pull it out and you get a wire brush and you just clean it off a little bit. And oh man, that wire brush sped up to like 32 times. It's so satisfying. It's it's so good. But and then you know when they get, especially when you watch like a Japanese guy do it, because then you know, like if it's like an American guy,
they do a lot of things with their own hands.
Yeah.
To begin with.
Well, and they take such special care. So if you get like an American guy redoing like a rebar cutter or like an old like metal clamp or something like very Americana and like flannel and burl, then like that's, you know, something. But like when you get like a Japanese guy restoring an old like chef's knife, and they take so much care with it, and they have like 9 different whetstones that they put it over, and
craftsmanship is very important to the Japanese
oh
culture.
my god, it's like paramount.
Yeah.
So they like those ones are good to watch too, because like just the gentleness with it, it's really spellbinding. Like I say, you should you know what, it's not for everybody, and I get that. But I really think that I'm talking to the right crowd here.
Right. All 4 of us.
All 4 of us. Me, you, and brother Steve.
I did watch, in that same vein, I did watch Jiro Dreams of Sushi the other night, which, don't watch it late at night unless you have sushi at hand.
Oh, okay.
Because you will be starving for sushi.
Here's the thing. I don't care for sushi.
Oh, get out.
I don't. Well, all right. Here's the other thing I'm going to hit you with. I've never had sushi.
Okay, we're going to change that.
But here's the thing. I don't really have a want.
Well, I do.
All right.
I do want sushi.
Then explain to me exactly what it is about sushi.
The taste.
Okay. All right.
It tastes wonderful.
Okay. All right, Doug. Okay. Okay, Doug. Okay. Doug. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. Dangle.
So is it like a melt in your mouth thing? Because
No, you chew.
You chew?
You chew. Chew and swallow. It's food. It's not chocolate.
I don't know how I feel about. What kind of psychopath just waits for the chocolate to melt in their gullet before they swallow?
People that eat Dove.
I eat Dove.
Lindor truffles.
Okay, Lindor. That's what like one of the jokes that I never really got to tell is like, poor people should not have nice chocolate. Because we don't appreciate nice chocolate. You watch a rich person eat nice chocolate, and they indulge. They eat 1 square of Ghirardelli at a time, and they're
like flip it over in their mouth.
Yeah, and they're like hitting on all the notes, and they're writing reports on it with citations.
They're chocolate sommeliers.
I got a bag of Lindor truffles for Christmas, It was gone in 3 hours.
Ate that like popcorn.
Really, just zoop. It pops up in the air. You pull it tight so that it pops up, and then you. That's
Another.
That's. I like this chocolate. Another.
And I'm picturing in my mind that you have trained your cat to just like whip one with its tail right into your mouth.
Oh no, those little shits are batting up with their hands. Their cat hands.
Ah.
Their cans.
Is that still the same part of the body? But Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah.
Just the same craftsmanship goes into like every piece of food that they serve at his restaurant.
Is it like a binging with Babish thing?
What?
Oh, okay. So binging with Babish is like it's a food channel on YouTube. But he makes everything POV. It's interesting.
POV stands for point of view.
It sure does.
I do not know.
He's good. I probably wouldn't eat really anything that he makes, but
What does he make?
I mean, he all right. So he makes like he every now and again like he started off making things that were just like household foods with a twist.
Right.
So he'd make like a hamburger, but he'd use like some weird meat for the burger patty.
Find me a meat that isn't weird.
Well, he would use like a veal or something. Like it would just get strange with it. And then for like a short time, he was. And I don't really keep up with his channel. I don't sub, but I find him every now and again. But he started making like food that was on different shows and movies. So he made like a meat pie from Game of Thrones.
Oh, hot pie.
Hot pie, yeah.
Meat pie.
Yeah. And just
doing
doing
a new Pokemon.
Doing stuff like
Meat
that.
pie.
No,
Meat pie.
that's probably what was it called? Food Fight?
Food Fighters.
Food Fighters, yeah.
Not to be confused with Foo Fighters.
Well, you probably could. I don't know how far it would get you, but
Yeah, I mean, who's talking about Foo Fighters in 2020? Not me.
we are right now.
No, we're talking about Food Fighters.
Oh.
There was. Have you watched the Jeff Goldblum thing? The show?
A little bit.
Did you watch the barbecue episode?
I didn't watch the barbecue episode.
He does a segment on it with a girl who has a YouTube channel where she cooks her own Korean barbecue.
Ooh.
And they do a lot of like the top-down shots of everything, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my
it looks
god.
so good.
Only 2 seasons.
Of Jeff Goldblum.
Fighting Foodons. That's what it was called.
I think it was 2 different shows.
Well, Food Fighters is a show on Food Network.
All right, here we go. Pocket Monsters.
Because this is the one that was like... Ba, 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 ba. What song is that?
Food Fighters Toys. I had one of these.
Are you sure?
1988's Mattel Food Fighters toy line.
All right, then we're thinking of 2 different things here.
Here we go. Food Fighters was an action figure collection released by Mattel in 1989. Proverbial for the concept of a food fight, the figures were all different types of anthropomorphic food dressed in military gear. Food Fighters consisted of 10 figures and 3 accessory toys. A refrigerator playset was also designed but never produced. The characters were divided into 2 armies, the protagonist Kitchen Commandos and the antagonist Refrigerator Rejects.
Oh, okay.
Each figure was made of a soft, hollow plastic similar to a squeaky toy and included a small hand weapon and removable backpack. The tagline on the figure's packaging read, "Combat at its kookiest," but I think it might also be cookiest, but it's Kookiest, so I guess kookiest. I guess they forewent the pun.
You hate to see it. You should always take that opportunity.
The Kitchen Commandos wore black boots, green clothing, and carried red weapons, and they were... Oh my goodness, this is fantastic.
Can't wait.
The character names. Burger General was a hamburger.
Really?
Major Munch, a donut, available with chocolate glaze or cherry glaze. Lieutenant Leg, a chicken drumstick.
Sure.
Sergeant Scoop, an ice cream cone, available as chocolate ice cream or sherbet.
Sherbet.
Private Pizza, I don't think I need to explain that one. The combat carton, an egg carton with a ketchup bottle cannon holding a tomato slice missile on the top. The fry chopper, a frying pan helicopter with spatula blades. The refrigerator, I don't need to talk about that.
It was produced. Not produced.
The refrigerator rejects wore brown boots, black clothing, and carried blue weapons. And they were...
The Russians?
And they were, including Kevin's new nickname, Mean Wiener.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
A hot dog. Chip the Ripper, a chocolate chip cookie, also available as a macadamia cookie. Short Stack, a stack of pancakes available with maple syrup or blueberry syrup.
I don't like to believe that Short Stack could be evil.
Taco Terror, a taco. Fat Frenchie, a box of french fries. And the Barbecue Bomber, a barbecue grill armed with a spatula catapult.
So we stand the rejects.
We do.
We have to.
We do. Mean Wiener, Taco Terror, come on.
I mean, the barbecue the cookie,
Bomber.
the taco. And what was it? Fat Ass Freddy?
Fat Frenchie.
Fat Frenchie.
I feel like you're projecting something there. Let me see if I can find pictures. I had one of them. I just can't think which one we had.
Okay, so that's not what I was thinking of.
No.
I was thinking
We had the hot dog. We had Mean Wiener.
Well, I'll say.
I am almost certain we had Mean Wiener. That's a Mean Wiener.
Now I gotta look up fighting food-ons.
But like, look at these dudes.
Oh. See, I thought those were squeaky toys.
Yeah. Because they look and act like it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did squeak if you squeaked them. Well, everything's going to squeak if you squeak it.
This is what I was thinking of.
Right. I remember that show.
Uh-huh.
It was on...
Probably Fox Kids.
Was it Fox Kids or like the Saturday version?
Wasn't it all the same?
I genuinely don't know. I thought Fox Kids was just the afternoon.
See, alright, so what got me about the show, right, is that the protagonist, I don't know what his name is. I guess his name's Chase, given the titles of these pictures. This kid looks like a video game character.
The obligatory yellow streak of
right
in the front.
He looks like a kid on a game that came with a demo disc for PlayStation 1. And it involved like chasing down pigs. Is any of this familiar to you?
I never had a PlayStation.
I don't know if it came out on any other consoles.
Can you remember what it was called? Wait.
I'm gonna Google search this.
Quest 64.
PS1 game Chase Down Hogs.
Oh.
And I'm gonna see. There it is.
Wow.
Fucking Tomba.
That's what it's called?
Fucking Tomba. All right. Now tell me that this. Tell me that you don't get the exact same energy.
Yes.
Like the hairs.
I feel like I've seen that character before.
Dude, this game was so weird because it was so wow, that is a glow up. Hold on. Let me show you the box art for Tomba 2.
With the Unreal Engine.
Basically, look at this glow up.
Oh my god. He actually has a neck.
And he has like
and limbs.
A chest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in the back.
Got that neck.
The evil swine returns.
Well.
Yeah, dude, Tomba. So demo discs famously only had one level in it.
True.
But like.
True.
It was just a really, really strange game, man. Like.
Oh.
It was. I thought it was Pink Pigs.
What's Pink Pigs?
And like the video, like the intro video was really, really charming, and it was very bright and inviting, and a game where like all I had was like, we went over this 2 weeks ago, but like your Resident Evils and like dark scary games or like fighting games or shooting games, and then there was Tomba.
Catch a pig.
Catch a pig, man. And
they don't make games like that anymore.
They really
or
don't.
If they do, it's like a crappy thing for the phone.
Yeah, like that's why I think that I took to Portal so much. Like I like games that are like a deviation from the norm. It's like similar but different. Because like there's no killing
right
in Portal, and it's just like story. And I don't know. I think that like
it's a puzzle game with story to it.
I think that at some point we really got away as a culture from like anything that didn't require mass murder.
There was a while where all you could get were shooters, and it was like
it was sports games or shooters, and it was like, ugh, I don't know, man. Give me a brightly colored, fun fucking game. That being said, I can't get into these weird like Japanese RPGs or JRPGs, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, those are bright and they're story based, but
they're very dense.
Dude, it's like a 50-hour game every single time.
And I feel like even though none of them are related, you have to start with the ones released in like the 80s to fully understand the systems used today.
That's what I appreciate about the Final Fantasies is like you can skip 4 generations and pick up, and it's like it doesn't matter. They're all different games.
Oh yeah,
and
I haven't really played any of those. Any of those like JRPGs.
7's a masterpiece, but I still like I'm in and out on it.
Yeah.
I played 15 until I couldn't play it anymore, but I think I may have said this before, but there is such a humongous.
That's like the newest one, right?
Yeah, there's such a gigantic difficulty spike at the end of the game, where like even so with those games I know, because normally I'm pretty tempted to just like go. But I know with Final Fantasy is that it's a steep incline.
Right.
So you have to really take your time and explore and fight every single battle so that you can grind without having to backtrack and grind. Mm-hmm. And then you'll eventually, like, a couple points you'll find yourself a little bit behind. But, like, for the most part, like, you're within striking distance of where you should be at any given time.
Right.
And then in Final Fantasy 15... the whole thing is that like at night monsters get stronger. Now I don't think that's ever been like a hard role throughout the entire universe, but like for this one, whatever, the nature of the beasts literally is that when it gets nighttime they get stronger.
I think it's like a Japanese thing. There's a lot of Japanese games that do that. The Zelda games are like that, and Dead Rising as well.
Oh really? But yeah, like you're playing along and like they actually like tell you like not to go out at night. Like at night you rest your characters and your party. Mm-hmm. And then, like, by the end of the game, something happens, and it basically, you have to stop an eternal night. Mm. And you're without your party, I think. Or maybe they're just so unhelpful that it felt like you're without your party. Uh-huh. And it's like, you were fighting enemies, and, like, by the end of the game, it's like, they're, like, level 40 or whatever, and it's, like, not a huge deal. Whenever you come to, and it's night again, or it's night all the time, like everything jumps to like a level 60 or 70 and you're still like a level 50.
Oh, so you're fighting an uphill battle.
Oh my god, it's like
Sisyphus.
It's so bad. It's like seriously so bad that I tried. I was like, well, I've already sunk like 3 days into this game.
And he tried. Oh my god, do I try?
And I couldn't do it, and I shut it off, and that game beat me. So
wow.
That game, it's one of the few games
unfinished.
I still have it, I'm pretty sure. I deleted the save file because I needed space. Or so maybe the whole thing crashed. You don't have
it anymore.
No, not really. I just don't have the energy to go back through it. I didn't think it was that fun to begin with. I just really wanted to beat an RPG as an adult.
Right.
Because like I went through Final Fantasy as a kid because like that was like the thing that you do in the 90s as like an alt kid is you played Final Fantasy 7 and you liked it, god damn it. So I did it because I was told to do it, and I didn't really know what was happening. Like I just basically like hammer fisted my way through the whole campaign. It's not even a campaign, it's a story. But I went through the whole story, and I got as far as I could as a child, as an actual child. And I was like, this is fucking hard. Like I didn't know like
the child.
I didn't know the whole like Knights of the Round, not even a glitch, but it's just like things that all these like lame ass neckbeard basement dwellers put together to like help each other get through the game because it's so fucking difficult that it takes a village to beat it. And I didn't do all that. It's like I wasn't in tune with all of that. And I was like, all right, so when 15 came out, it looked kind of interesting. Everybody was talking about how good of a game it was, regardless of whether or not you played a Final Fantasy before. So I was like, all right, fuck it.
And it had cars.
It had cars in it, yeah. And it had like some callbacks, like not really, but sort of. So
are they all related?
No.
Okay.
No.
They're like all in different universes, aren't they?
Pretty much, yeah. There's a lot of similarities between 15 and 7. Like they say like the same cities and stuff like that, and like they bring up some characters, I think, but like it may be just different characters with the same name. It's difficult to say. Like one of the main NPCs, her name is Cindy, and she is the granddaughter of a character named Sid. They don't go into whether or not it's Sid from Final Fantasy VII or not. I think, is that Hideo Kojima? No, Hideo Kojima's Gears.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Same thing. He, anyway, one of the creators, I don't think he said it. I think he was like, it's just another guy named Sid. That can happen sometimes. And it was like, yeah, not in forced storytelling. But anyway, right. I wanted to beat this one.
Two Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere on the internet there's a couple of different, Yodas. Who's to say? Wouldn't that be funny? Like the big Yoda Bowski or something. The Yoda Lebowski.
The real Yoda, the Jedi Master. It's just like some dude in a cardigan. Like, hey, I'm Yoda.
I would give a lot of money to see a movie about piece of shit Yoda's brother.
Joda. It's just like JOE-DA.
Or it's just like Dan.
Not even like the same species.
No, it's
just like
he's a Toydarian. Just a real deadbeat. Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only Russians. But I wanted to play it as a man and beat it as a man.
What a man, what a man.
And I couldn't do it. It's too fucking much.
1 in 5 men can't finish.
I've heard that.
Holy God. Look at the size of this monster.
Oh my God. We're watching tennis. I
He
think.
just dwarfed him.
My Lord. Riley Opelka. Is that our man?
Yeah, well, he lost, so.
It's a Fabio Fognini.
I gotta look up our boy Riley, because he looked
Riley.
huge.
Yeah, but
Opelka.
what were we talking about?
You're talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but like, what were we talking about before that?
Man. 6 feet 11 inches tall.
Yikes.
Woo lad.
He is a biggin. He is a big boy.
Good Lord.
Well, we got one American. So there's that.
Sam Query.
Yeah.
Americans?
That Argentinian's name is Guido.
It's been on the nose.
So there's that. Wait, that's the Italian?
Yeah.
Why is he wearing a German kit?
You're German.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not
That
even
is surprising.
I'm not even a little bit German.
I'm German. Prost. German.
I don't believe that for a second.
Look it up.
Okay, Google. Is Doug German?
Did you ask if I'm German?
Here's a result from Facebook.
We're gonna find out today. But yeah, no, those RPGs are too much for me. What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
They're just too much for me. I don't know.
They're very dense.
They're just too. It's too much.
What I don't like is most of the time it seems like the combat's like run up / it says miss and then you run back and line.
Oh yeah, so
And that's not my style. I'm an in the fray kind of guy.
so that's like the new thing with the Final Fantasy VII remaster that's coming out at some point this decade. Allegedly, is that it was originally being made to be more like a Kingdom Hearts, a la like free moving combat.
Oh, that still means nothing to me. Okay.
Free move. Okay, I like how you pay attention to when I speak.
Sorry,
and
Vin Diesel had a new post on Instagram, and I wanted to see if it was related to Fast and Furious.
Is he gay? Does Vin Diesel is gay?
I think he has a family. Well, not that gay people can't have families. You know what? I'm probably just going to cut that whole thing out. I think he's married to a woman, is what I meant to say.
Well, I think Elton John was married to a woman, too.
If you had to guess Vin Diesel's birth name, what would you think it would be?
It's not Vincent. It's probably Augustus.
No.
Okay.
Mark.
That's disappointing.
Mark Sinclair.
That's disappointing. I don't know why. I was more disappointed to find that his last name wasn't Diesel. This is Mark Unleaded.
Where did he get it?
Meet him.
So,
Please.
I think he
Vin
stole
Diesel.
his brother's name.
Oh, in the womb?
Well, his brother was alive. Is still alive.
Larceny in utero?
I'm trying to figure out, were his parents divorced? He was raised... Vin Diesel was born Mark Sinclair in Alameda County, California, along with his fraternal twin brother, Paul Vincent.
Hey, there's your boy.
He is my boy. That's why we're watching this.
Oh, okay.
Rafael Nadal. His match starts at 10, post-meridian.
Mm.
He was raised by his astrologer slash psychologist mother.
Psychologist?
I think I just had a stroke. Delora Shirlene Sinclair. An adoptive father, Irving H. Vincent. An acting instructor and theater manager at an artist housing project in New York City's Greenwich Village.
One of those people.
He never knew his biological father. His mother is white with English, German, Scottish, and Irish ancestry, and his adoptive father is African American. Referring to his biological father's background, Diesel has said that he himself is definitely a person of color. I'm trying to figure out how his brother's last name is Vincent, if they're twins.
His last name is Vincent?
Yes, unless...
How can that be a last name?
I don't know. Douglas is the last name.
Yeah, I know that.
Vincent is also a first name.
It is.
As is Douglas.
Oh. Alright. Well, that seems weirdly... Stupid.
Well, I don't know. Why are we looking at Vin Diesel?
I don't know.
You were trying to see if he's gay. Does Vin Diesel is gay?
Yeah, asking for a friend.
Diesel.
In the meantime...
Entangled. He's 50.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Actually, he's 52. Soon to be 53. Here's an article from March 29, 2006. Vin Diesel slams gay rumors.
Like in the butt, or?
I don't know.
You gonna read the article to me, or what?
Ugh, I guess. Hollywood action star Vin Diesel has slammed rumors he is gay and remains defiant about keeping his personal life private.
So that's...
The Triple X star is notoriously guarded when it comes to his romantic relationships. He explains, I'm not... Well, that's not... It's a horrible Vin Diesel.
That's... Yeah.
I'm trying to get it. It's down there. It's not like this down there. I don't really explain. I'm not going to put it out there on a magazine cover like some other actors. I come from the Harrison Ford, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino code of silence. Why did he name 5 people? Diesel claims he prefers to date in Europe, where he's not as easily recognized, and thinks celebrities dating other celebrities are just asking for trouble. The actor doesn't want people going through his garbage, taking his photo at Starbucks, or making his name into a Bennifer-style punchline saying, it's a sucker's bet.
Well, to be fair, he could probably date in any city he wants now.
It's true.
Because he wouldn't be recognized. It's a burn. Well, why? Why were we bringing up Vin Diesel?
I don't know, but there's a Vin Diesel gay Pinterest page.
Yeah, I bet.
Look at the first picture.
That's good. Now, is there anything to the feud between The Rock and Vin Diesel? You seem to be the guy to know. Anymore?
So do you know the origins?
I mean, I could probably surmise.
So Vin Diesel is now a producer on the Fast and Furious.
Yes, he owns those movies. Yes.
And has been for quite some time.
Yeah.
And so he can show up to work whenever he feels like it.
Sure.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson has the work ethic of you show up every day no matter what. Mm-hmm. You get there before everyone else if possible and stay there all day long pretty much. And so on Fate of the Furious, the 8th movie in the Academy Award winning franchise, as it should be. I guess there were days where it's like everyone was ready to go, but Vin Diesel wouldn't be there. Or maybe it was the 7th one. I think it was the 7th one because they didn't have any scenes together in the 8th one. And I don't know how much Paul Walker's death affected that. I don't know if he was like the glue that kind of kept everything going. As glue does, keeps you going.
It's really lubricating. We just throw some Elmer's in that gearbox.
This hinge is squeaking. How do we fix it? Oh, let's throw some glue in there.
Honey, would you get the Astroglide? No, wait. Tonight's special. Get that liquid concrete.
But they've apparently buried the hatchet.
Okay.
I hope so. The Rock isn't going to be in the next Fast and Furious because he just had Hobbs and Shaw.
Right.
But he is slated to come back for the 10th one. The 10th and allegedly final one.
Well, I mean, it's a good number to end on.
It is. How many movie series get to go to 10?
Many. They're just on the Sci-Fi Network.
Well, that's true. But how many of them have the same cast?
That's fair.
And I'm not talking like Tremors 10 or Fred Ward.
Hey, don't you talk shit on Tremors 10. Tremors 10 was a great movie.
Does it have Fred Ward?
No, but it has Kevin Bacon.
No, it doesn't. Does Fred Ward do anything anymore?
It's pronounced Fredward.
Fred Ward.
Is his name... Is it different in the years gone by? Same as it ever was.
Oh, I love it still.
But no, because I had heard that it was the other way around, and that it was The Rock was being a bit of a drama queen, and that he like requested a bigger trailer. And he like this like this thing or that thing. Now, doesn't he have his own trailer that he supplies?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, why not? Really? I mean, if you're the highest paid male actor of not the decade, but certainly 2018.
Yeah, probably a couple years since like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Once he started having like 2 to 3 movies coming out each year.
Yeah,
that have been just crushing it at the box office.
Yeah.
Looking at you, San Andreas.
Was San Andreas the same year as Baywatch?
I think Baywatch was the year after.
That's a hell of a film.
Baywatch?
Yeah.
I love that movie. We saw it together.
We did. That was our first date. No, it wasn't.
No, it was like our 20th.
Yeah.
And you still didn't put out.
Nope. And I still won't, because I'm a good Christian girl.
No, that was a fun one. Zac Efron. He was great.
Am I imagining things, or did Josh Gad get his dick stuck in a chair?
It wasn't Josh Gad.
It wasn't Josh Gad?
It was John Bass.
John Bass. Okay, yeah. I wish it was, like, no offense to John Bass, but I wish it was Josh Gad.
I'm sure he gets that a lot. I don't know that he's done much else. I think he was on a show. I can't think of what it was. A show of some repute.
Man.
Josh Gad, John Bass, and Dan Fogler are just
all the same person. You know what though? Dan Fogler was in a movie or a show recently, and he was actually really, really good.
He's been in The Walking Dead for the past couple seasons. It probably wasn't that.
What?
And he's in the new Harry Potter prequels.
What was your first exposure to him?
Dan Fogler?
Yeah.
That movie Fanboys?
Really?
I think so.
Okay, so
that was the first one that I knew who he was in it.
I watched Fanboys after I'd seen
maybe Take Me Home Tonight.
Take Me Home Tonight was a great ass movie, but I watched Balls of Fury first.
Oh, the ping pong one.
Yes,
that is a funny one.
I loved that a lot.
Wasn't Christopher Walken like the big bad guy in it or whatever?
Yeah, he was. Allegedly, he's also in a movie called Don Peyote, which I feel like we should probably watch and review.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't already.
He was in Like Flynn.
Was he?
Huh. He was in, I don't know, I watched something with him recently. I thought it was really quite good. He's also lost some weight.
Yeah.
He's looking great.
He's finally getting some dues that he has owed.
As he should. He's from Brooklyn.
Yeah. And he seems like it. He seems like the type.
Well, I guess he hasn't been in anything too recently.
TV wise?
Dead, maybe.
Crimes of Grindelwald.
He plays himself in Sharknado 5. To keep it on brand. Maybe, I don't know what I watched him in then, but I watched him in something and I was really, really impressed.
He's definitely been able to work through the you're just like the chunky funny guy phase, and like is actually getting some roles of substance.
Yeah, Take Me Home Tonight's really underrated, Jim.
With your boy Topher.
Uh-huh.
Who's the girl in that one?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Please, Doug.
Take me home tonight. Anna Faris.
Anna
Faris.
Anna, yeah.
She's not the only one. Teresa Palmer. I think Teresa Palmer's like the... I'm struggling to remember the story.
Topher Grace, right?
Is he trying to get with Teresa Palmer?
Yes.
But like Anna Faris is his like friend or something?
One of them is his sister.
Okay, it's Anna Faris because they both have the same last name in it.
Take Me Home.
Is Dan Fogler trying to get with Anna? Chris Pratt's in it. What?
He sure is. I think that's where they met. Michelle Trachtenberg, that's right. Dimitri Martin.
Bob Odenkirk's in it.
Michael Ian Black. Jay Jablonski, it's your boy.
It's your boy, Jablonski. Michael Douse.
Teresa Palmer is a looker, buddy.
I've been saying it.
You know, like Michael Ian Black.
He's like a more approachable Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm. You know, with less domestic violence.
He directed Stuber and Goon, the director of Take Me Home Tonight.
Michael Ian Black is really good at playing like a smug cunt.
He's really good at playing Michael Ian Black.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I said it.
Was he in Kids in the Hall?
I do not know.
I wonder.
I can tell you one thing. He didn't love the 90s. Not like we did.
Yeah, I know. I like those shows, man. Bring those shows back.
I mean, those were always entertaining, but I do agree with what Gary Gulman has to say about them.
What's he say?
He's just like, it's all people that you've never heard of, and they're just talking shit on the thing that you love the most.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I liked. So I love the 70s and I love the 80s. I love the 80s more. I don't know if you know this. You probably do.
The 80s was a great decade to look back on with that type of eye.
Yeah, I really had a thing for the 80s for like the longest time.
It was a time of splendor.
It was like all the good things from the 70s, but now in electric pink.
Right. Take all the good things from the 70s, inject cocaine into its veins.
It was amazing.
And let it run wild in Chuck E. Cheese.
As someone who was born in 1992, I loved growing up in the 80s. I really did. And when I Love the 90s came on, it was really just exactly as Gary Gulman describes it. It's just like, well, I liked that thing, so
yeah,
don't shit on it. Maybe, but I think it was just like a real tonal change.
Yeah.
From like the 70s and the 80s, where I do remember them looking back on those decades very fondly. And then when the 90s came around, it was like making fun of like the dancing baby email chain and like just stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know why everybody's ripping on it now. And then I thought perhaps they'd come out with like an I love the 2000s or I love the aughts, if you will.
I mean, I'm sure it's coming to that point now that we're
20 years removed.
Yeah. What I always enjoyed was when they would do like the earnest events and like kind of not look at the joke angle, but like look at why it was a huge thing. For some reason, the thing that comes to mind is Tony Hawk doing the 900 the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that live.
I remember watching that, but I don't know why it just didn't seem as significant. Like at the time, like people they went mad, but like it was X Games. Like
X Games were the shit back in the day, though. Now they're just shit.
Yeah, now they're just shit. But like
in a post Tony Hawk, Shaun White world, I don't even know who those athletes are. At this point.
Honestly, I want to say there was a Ryan Cabrera. Does that name
back in the day?
Was it still back in the day?
I think so.
Fuck, man,
I think he was a character in Tony Hawk.
Well, there you go.
So
I remember the 900, but so vaguely that it could have been that I just watched it on the internet.
Yeah.
what I do remember distinctly, and we may have gone over this before, but that guy who fucked up the ramp and he hit the ground from like 30 feet in the air.
And his shoes flew off. Oh,
I remember watching that. And it was
that the same
It wasn't it wasn't the same event. Okay. No, this was like 2001 or 2, I think. And I think it was 2001. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of hard drops in 2001. That being one of them.
Yeah. Oh, man. I just remember watching like, oh.
Yeah, dude. And the thing is, like, I remember how serendipitous it was that I even saw it in the first place, because it was just on. Because I remember it was, like, probably during the late spring or the early summer.
Right.
And we were cleaning out the basement, and we just had the TV on so that it wasn't, like, too much. Like, it was just something to listen to while we were boxing things up. And for, like, a second, I was like, oh, well, this looks like it's going to be interesting. It's the big air competition.
Right.
And, oh, boy. It was the only thing that I watched in that time. Like, that was the one thing that I stayed for.
I think it's Jake Brown.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm watching the video.
That sounds right. Yeah, he got fucked up.
He goes off the initial ramp. Up the... Oh.
There it is.
Oh.
Osiris is into the sky.
All right.
You're gonna make me watch this too?
I'm going to make you watch it. Without sound.
Oh, sure. Can't get copywritten here. Copyrighted?
I don't know.
Oh boy, here we go. Up the ramp, does a little flippy do, and speed wobbles. Bye, son. He just gives up there.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I remember like somebody being like,
"That boy's asleep."
I remember somebody saying to me that like he actually didn't get that messed up. Like he like blacked out from the thing, but like he was okay. And then I looked later, and
he's wheelchair bound.
He got very, very hurt.
Yeah.
What happened here? Skateboarding. That was in 2007. I know, right?
That was in 2007 that happened.
I know.
Well, that was still 13 years
So he walked off. He walked after several minutes of unconsciousness. Brown walked off the ramp with assistance. But this is what happened to him. Okay, he fell 45 feet. For you, since we're international now, that's 14 meters for everybody else.
Meters.
Now, Brown's injuries were a fractured wrist, a fractured vertebrae, bruised liver, bruised lung, ruptured spleen, and a concussion.
Ooh. Jeez.
That's like a list of things that you don't even want one of.
No.
Like, if you bruise an internal organ...
The fact that he was able to walk away with all that going on inside him is a testament to...
Oh, I mean, he probably had so much adrenaline going through his body. But what's funny to me is that, like, reading the word bruise... Like, when you're a kid and you bruise something, it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
When you turn like 25 and you bruise something, it's like, just fucking break it. Just fucking break it. I'm not here for a bruise.
Cut it off!
It's like, dude, if you like bruise your arm, like if you like, or like, I don't know, climbing something you should be climbing at work and you fall and you bruise something, like you bruise your elbow, fucking just take it off. I'm not here for that, dude. It's like turf toe. It doesn't sound that bad, but you'd rather just like shink, just shear off the whole goddamn foot.
I don't need it.
I'd really, because you can't walk. You just look at it like, why are you doing this to me?
Kill me.
Why have you betrayed me? Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's for true, though.
Fucking bruises, man. They're the worst.
And, like, you know when you get one, too.
Especially, like, with your ego, just, like, cut it off.
Oh, because that is, like, the ego is the thing that... Oh.
And that's the thing. Nobody in the history of having egos has ever broken it. You just bruise it.
Wow. Shatter that ego.
Like, what's it going to take to kill an ego? What do you do?
I feel like to kill an ego, you have to be, like... Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, and just get destroyed in the public eye.
I don't know, dude, because that's the thing is both of those dudes,
of
those dudes still feel like they didn't do anything wrong, and it's like at this point,
that's because they're villains.
Well, sure,
villain.
Not unlike your boy, friend of the pod, MC Ren.
Right. Well, actually, very unlike that villain in the. It's like in the hit TV show Jimmy Neutron, when the classroom heartthrob Nick says, "Bad like me," and Mrs. Fowl says, "No, bad like the old version of bad."
Doesn't Gary have a joke about that too?
Gary. Yeah, I think in like his latest special.
Yeah. He was like, I don't even know what the joke is, but he's basically
it's something about like millennials.
Yeah.
And he like wishes them all the best, but they just ruined the use of literally for him. But he was like, as a jaded middle-aged man, I can be like, you know what? Okay, we destroyed the world. You can have this. You can have this.
Maria Sharapova. Now, the other thing that I really enjoy watching on YouTube is black people listening to metal for the first time. Have you ever?
I don't know that I have.
So
Listen to metal.
It's like hip hop heads that usually listen to like hip hop as they do, and
Right.
and they give their reactions to those, and that's interesting too because it's like industry knowledge. You know, like they're speaking deeply and from a place of intelligence. And like they're giving me the ins and outs and what have yous on why this particular bar is relevant or what this means or like how you switched it up there. But boy, when they listen to metal for the first time and they get hyped as fuck,
Really?
it really brings me so much joy because the thing with like white people is we're so reserved. Like even whenever we're like surprised or like feeling ourselves and like we're being as emotive as we possibly can, like it's not really that interesting. Mm-hmm. But like black people are so emotive and it just gives me the most joy to see them happy because like I feel like a kind of happy black person seems a lot happier than the happiest white dude on the planet.
We take happiness for granted. We the whites.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's part of the privilege, but
Right.
like they act it like
That's why we're always saying smile more.
yeah.
That's why Kevin's always telling women to smile.
Please don't. I don't do that. Please don't.
Kevin, Captain Scowls a lot, is always telling women to smile more.
It's just my RBF, okay? But like,
You're just gonna say it's just the arc of my eyebrow.
I tweeze with impunity. Now, but like
That sentence really hit me in a great place.
But watching them listen to like especially Slipknot gets the best reactions, and now these two guys that are somewhat famous in their own sphere. They're called Lost in Vegas.
Right.
You should look them up if you haven't seen them already. It's just these two dudes. I can't think of both of their names, so I won't say either.
Lost in
Thank you.
Vegas. I'm sorry, it's Lost Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's an N that keeps them together.
It's George and someone else, but they were doing like this. So their whole thing is that they're free thinkers and like they're open to
My least favorite type of
right.
person.
They're open to like whatever. Like just give them something to listen to, and they'll listen to it and they'll review it objectively. And boy, once they started listening to metal, the whole game changed. The whole game changed, and you get reactions like, man, I didn't know this is what it was. Like, I used to make fun of metalheads like my whole life, and I didn't know this is what it was. Like, I never once thought to like listen to it because I was like, it's all screaming or whatever.
Right.
This is amazing, and it's just like,
I still think it's just that.
well, sure, but seeing them get the kind of joy that I wish that I still got, because like I guess like now I take it for granted. Like
Kind of like a few weeks ago when you asked me like, what song do you wish you could hear again for the first time?
Yeah, it's along the same lines. It's like, I mean, I know what it is. Like sometimes there's a band that genuinely surprises me, like Sturgill Simpson's Sound and Fury.
Right.
I still haven't turned that album off. It's been like a month. The children are getting worried. It's genuinely surprised. Like it's a new sound that I love, and that joy is so fleeting. Like once that goes away, like RTJ4 is going to come out in the next couple of months, and like that'll be great. But I know what I'm getting into there, so it's still not quite the same thing.
Well, if you like that album, Sturgill Simpson, you'd probably like some Black Keys stuff.
You think?
Because his album sounds a lot like the Black Keys' most recent album, and a very like blues rock, but kind of like a little bit harder than that type way.
I give him a shot. You see the Black Keys?
Yes.
Who do I get them? I get the Black Keys mixed up with
the White Stripes.
No, the Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, I like both. So, Sharapova just lost something fierce.
What was it? Wait. Was it that Bodie? Cut that out. And so...
I'm leaving that in. And actually, what I'm going to do is do a hard cut to that for my Kevin tells women they need to smile more.
And, what was I going to say? Anywho, seeing them get the joy that it used to bring me makes me a small bit... It makes me feel like the same thing.
Yeah.
In a small way. So I like watching them discover what I've always known. And conversely, like I like to listen to them listen to new rap, because like the very limited scope that I listen to rap.
Yes.
I have my opinions, but it's nice to know that like the people that do listen to it, like almost exclusively, I hold the same opinions as they do on some matters. So that makes me feel a little validated, especially when I'm so far out of my element. But no, that's like literally like hours of entertainment.
Really?
So going back, when I asked you what's the song you wish you could hear for the same time,
yes,
I didn't think about it a lot. Maybe we were drinking a lot that night, or maybe it was very late when I did ask. I didn't put a tremendous amount.
Could have been some combination.
It could, yeah, it was probably a little A, a little B. I didn't put a ton of thought into my answer, because there's like entire genres I wish I could discover again for the first time, but I think that my answer was the Disturbed cover of The Sound of Silence, which is very divisive. It's a very divisive song, because there's a lot of people that say like should have never been covered in the first place, let alone by Disturbed. I just think objectively it's a more, I consider it like not so much a cover, more like a reimagining.
Yeah.
Because it's performed differently.
Yeah. It's performed like a ballad.
Yeah. And a lot of, I don't know who said it first, if it was like somebody important or if it really was just YouTube commenters, but every single channel that produced this music video or a cover or a YouTube Reacts, there's always a comment in the comment section that says like the Simon Garfunkel version was like a quiet, almost foretelling of what would happen.
It's kind of a mournful tune.
And then the Disturbed version is like the messenger being angry that he saw what was going to happen. He told us, and we didn't do anything anyway.
Right.
So, based off of that...
Whereas Simon and Garfunkel was like, we're just watching this play out.
Yeah. And...
Paul and Art, as I call them.
Sure. We really only talk about art here, but...
Really? That's not often.
But the...
Paul Simon, no thank you. Art Garfunkel all the way.
We want the sad one.
We want the one with the hair. And I'm sure he had some talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's yet to be discovered, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. Me and Julio, not for me. But
Buster Baxter went away, then he came back. Yes, please.
That's Drake meme. That's
on repeat.
But all right, so listening to them, like watching those reactions is like the same thing, because that's one where I spent like probably a good like 2 hours one day just going, because there's always one part. It's always the part where he sings the part on the and the words of the prophets were written on the subway walls and tenement halls. Whenever his voice raises there, that's when everybody loses their mind, and it's like jaws drop, and like a lot of the girls that were like review it, they start crying. Like not even just like,
maybe I need to hear it again, because I haven't heard it since like it came out.
8 out of 10 times people start welling right there, and it's interesting that it has such a repeat static effect. I don't know if I used that word properly, but like
static
every single time right there, the chances are so high that everybody has the same reaction. And
interesting.
Based off of that, that's why I like that. But again, with like the metal and stuff, especially when it's hype, like with Slipknot with like a lot of energy, or Gojira with a lot of energy.
Oh, Gojira.
It's a lot of fun to watch them, because like that gives me like, I don't really subscribe to a lot of YouTube channels, but like probably the last like 8 or 9 people that I've subbed to are like hip hop heads that occasionally react to metal videos.
Oh.
And that's where I spend a lot of my time on the YouTube.
And that's the T-Sis. If there was an album I could hear for the first time again, it would be De La Soul is Dead by De La Soul.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I listened to it, it was like nothing I'd ever heard before.
Yeah.
And I had already been listening to rap by that point. But it was just because it's an album built entirely on samples.
Oh, okay.
And it's just incredible. It is my favorite album of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
But like a lot, or is it contentious? Contentious?
It's probably by a lot.
Yeah.
I think my top 3 go De La Soul is Dead by De La Soul, Plastic Beach, Gorillaz, and 2001.
Oh, that's good.
Dr. Dre.
That's good. I'm wondering what mine would be.
I don't know.
Mine would probably be And Justice for All by Metallica. Fortress by Protest the Hero. I might. So you only did top 3, right?
Yeah.
If it's got to be a top 3, then it's got to be Blast Tyrant by Clutch. But if I can extend it to a very close 4th, it would be Tearing at the Seams by Nathaniel Rateliff.
Oh, interesting.
But those...
My 4th is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Kanye slipping in there. How's your boy doing?
I haven't talked to him in a while.
No.
I don't know.
He's slipping. Starting that mega church with Shaboy.
Joel Osteen.
Joel
Osteen, notoriously my boy.
Yeah.
When everyone criticized him for not opening his mega church to people during Hurricane Harvey, I was like, you know what? It's his property.
The notorious BOI.
It's his property. He can do with it as he pleases.
It's my church and I can do what I want
I'm gonna hunker down in this football stadium-sized church with just my wife, and we'll be safe from the rains.
The fuck?
We'll be writing to you.
But, so good thing that we brought up that whole music thing, because I wanted to ask you a question.
Tell me the question.
And I want you to think about it, because I like for this to garner some discussion here.
Right.
What are... I'll give you a choice. I'm not going to say what's the movie, because I feel like that's too fine a point. But what are some of the greatest movies you've ever seen that you will never watch again?
Ooh, interessante question.
I thought of that on like last Wednesday.
Right.
But since we only record on Mondays, I had to sit on that one for a while.
Interesting. That is a while.
I've been excited to ask you. I thought about maybe Inception.
Yeah.
I have no want to watch Inception again, or not that I don't like Leo, but it just so happens that Shutter Island's another one that comes up. I have no real. Well, that's the thing with Shutter Island is that by the time it ends, that whole twist is like the whole movie. Mm-hmm. So like once you know.
Well, if I remember correctly, the book has multiple twists at the end, where it's like it leaves it much more ambiguous whether he's actually crazy or not.
Okay. Well, all right. So that's.
But I think the movie's just like, I don't know, he's been crazy this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Well, he does have that small line at the end. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly what he says, but like it's right before. Are we spoiling this? When did that movie come out?
2007, 2006.
All right, you had 15 years. 14 years?
Actually, I think it was later than that.
Hey Google, when did Shutter Island come out?
Shutter Island came out in the United States of America on February 19th, 2010.
Why did it do that?
It's a February 19.
All right, so I mean,
what a goofball! What a goofball he is.
Oh wow,
that's Federer. Just
is he messing up with Andre or
no? That's someone on his staff.
Oh, okay.
Look at him. He's hiding from them.
He's like a little goof. Why don't you go ahead and get in that pond if you're going to be a silly goose? Come on now.
Oh, they can't see him. He's actually going to scare him, I bet. Oh, he got him. He got him. Got him.
Anywho.
Right. Shutter Island.
He says a thing at the end where it kind of does leave it up to like, well, maybe he's not crazy and he's just playing along. Because, like, isn't there some great tragedy with him? Like, the reason he's in there in the first place is because of, like...
His wife killed their kids.
Yeah. So, like, one of the things is that he, like, agrees to be lobotomized.
But it was, like... The reality was that his wife killed their kids.
Yeah.
But he had, like, he had invented, like, a third-party character who, like, burned their house down and the kids died in that. Mm-hmm. Or something like that.
Well, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. But that said, like, I wasn't really that captivated by it the first time I watched it.
Rah.
And, I'd say that's probably one of them. A lot of Leo movies could probably fit there. I don't really want to watch Django either. I'm going to be honest with you.
See, I like Django, but it's interesting because the first thing that came to my mind was Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Because that one's just such a commitment, it feels like.
Yeah, I've seen Gangs multiple times. I'm a big Gangs fan.
You are. You love gang warfare.
I do love gang warfare. I love Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh, Phantom Thread. Never again.
I never watched it.
Loved it. Amazing movie. Paul Thomas Anderson's a genius. Never want to watch his movies again.
Wow.
Too long, too dense.
I mean, yeah, There Will Be Blood I watched. I was like, this is a fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know when I'll ever be like, you know what, I feel like watching that again. It's probably going to be years.
Yeah. Because that's another one, man. Like, even the whole aesthetic of that movie, I love it. I love everything about that movie. The intrigue, like the people fighting against each other, the underhandedness of everything. Not again. Not for me.
Playing one side against the other. In bed with everybody.
Fabulous stuff. But it's just, it's too much. So pretty much anything that Paul Thomas Anderson's done, one and done.
This is a great question.
And I love how you're not answering it.
It's because it's difficult, because I like watching movies a lot. Mm-hmm. Inception I could watch again. I haven't watched it probably since it came out on DVD. And with our friend's parents at a Halloween party. So where are you going to college? I don't know. What else? Let me think. My mind is jumping toward, like, the grand scale epics, but, like, I do enjoy watching those, so probably less. Mm-hmm. You know what? Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
It's a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, I was like, this is a fantastic movie. Glad I finally watched it. I don't know when I'll ever set time aside again to watch it.
You know what, though? Sometimes it feels good to put that movie back up on the shelf knowing that it's not coming down for an extended period of time.
It becomes like a leather-bound classic that like it's kind of there for decoration. Like, oh, you're cultured. You have Lawrence of Arabia.
One of the few movies,
Blu-ray.
one of the few movies where it actually takes longer to watch the movie than it does to read the book.
Yeah, honestly.
But
T.E. Lawrence's life was shorter than that movie.
Yeah. Oh man, Arabia.
What else? What other ones are there? There have been so many movies. Yeah. I think back because I go to the movies a lot on a good year.
Yeah.
And I've seen. There was a streak where I went to the movies about 50 times a year for like 6 years, so I saw a lot of movies in that time period. And it's just like there's some that's like, oh, that was good. I'll probably never watch again. The Walk was one of them with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh yeah,
doing the high-rise act between the World Trade Center.
Yeah, not for me.
I enjoyed the movie. I don't know that I'll ever watch it again.
Did you see 127 Hours?
I saw it on TV.
Yeah,
and that's another one. It's like it's
yeah.
I thought it was good, not great.
Yeah. So those, what would you even call that? It's because it's not quite a mockumentary.
No,
it's not quite a docudrama.
It's closer to found footage.
Yeah.
But because I think it's just fixed camera angles, right? Until they do like the artistic shots of scenery.
I guess that's another one. The any of the Blair Witch movies? No, thank you.
I mean, I fell asleep during the second.
You did.
Second one. I own the first one, but I haven't watched it yet.
Ironically, I would watch pretty much any of the Paranormal Activity movies again.
I only saw one of them, and it really freaked me out.
There you go.
It was maybe the first one.
The first one was honestly so fucking good.
The first one where it like ends with the dude sitting on the couch and his wife just comes up behind him. And
that
snaps his
is the second or third one. Okay. I want to say it's the third one.
That's the one I saw.
That one's. Oh wait, no, that is the second one.
Okay.
So it's not his wife. It's the girl from the first one.
Oh.
I think it's the second one because one of them takes place in the 80s, and it's.
There's
like,
something about the detachment of like the nanny cams. And like just how casual she just walks up.
So that's the first one. The first one was so like original that
because it was found footage but wasn't shaky cam.
Yeah, it was so original and everything was like yeah, we've seen all this in the abstract before, and then like when you put it together, it's like really like it really felt like you were watching like through nanny cams.
Right.
And then by the second one, they had to not really raise the stakes, but they had to do the same thing on a bigger level.
Right.
So like in the first one, when like small shit would happen, and you have to be like hyper aware of that. In the second one and the subsequent movies, instead of watching like a single potpourri ball roll out of a bowl and off the table, and you have to be like, oh shit, it's like an entire kitchen levitates. Yeah. And then drops. That was, I think, in the third one was in the 80s. Okay. That's what it was. So it must have been the second one that she...
So the third one was kind of like, all right, let's get back to how this all started or something.
It gets closer to it. It's really interesting
how many were there?
There were 6.
Jesus.
Well, here's the thing, though. They weren't like sci-fi movies. They weren't like sci-fi channel movies.
But they came out like one a year, didn't they?
Yeah, about that. Something to that effect.
Like the Saws.
Yeah, the Saws got out of control, and to a lesser extent, but the Paranormal
Saws just became torture porn.
Yeah, and I'm not here for gore.
Why are we watching Dominic Thiem when Nadal's playing now?
That's a good question. Minorino. Yeah, it's Minorino. Okay, so Minorino. The Paranormal Activity movies actually stayed really on brand. Yeah. Even though they got like there was basically a different cast every single movie and very little reoccurring cast. Except for the girl that plays Katie. I want to say her name's Katie. The woman from the first one who's breaking necks and cashing checks. Right. She's in a couple of them in the same role. But it's really...
Is she like possessed all the way through?
Basically. Okay. It's really interesting how the whole thing comes full circle by the end. But the way that it comes full circle, it's like quite literally full circle. Like time is a circle, and it leads you to the idea that like this is gonna keep happening, and now this is the circle that must be broken. Right. And because the sixth one actually ends. I don't know if this is. I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore in 2020. But like, the sixth one ends at the beginning of the first movie. Actually, the sixth one ends at the end of the first movie. All right, so think back.
I'm sorry?
So the first one, you said you saw the second one.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one ends where they all end in like the last big violent attack, right?
Uh-huh.
So the last big violent attack in the first one is like the shot is from their ceiling cam on the bed, but it's like towards the door.
Okay.
And it's whenever they notice that like they put the baby powder on the threshold of the room, and they notice that the footprints from like the hooves, they go into the room, but they don't come out.
Wait. Why are there hooves?
Because it's a demon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a ghosty.
No, it's a demon.
Oh, that changes things.
Yeah, it's a demon. And it seems like Kakarot or some shit.
Goku?
Yeah. And
this is a demon Vegeta.
but Katie, because she keeps getting like toyed with, and I don't really know. We could probably do a deep dive if we wanted
Her
to.
the demon, it's her will they, won't they?
Yeah, it's she like gets up like the whole like Undertaker coming out of the casket thing, where she like sits upright and then like gets out of bed real slowly and then stands at the foot of the bed, and you see the timestamp on the video camera. And it's like just it shoots through the hours, and she's just standing there looking at her husband, fiance, Mika, whatever. She's like looking at him for like
Is that also a title?
9 hours, and then she walks very casually downstairs, and then it breaks with her screaming bloody murder. She yells Mika, and that's when I decided in my head that is the scariest name to yell.
Me. Which letter's drawn out? Is it the I or the A?
It's the A.
Mika.
Well, it's not a battle cry. It doesn't crescendo. It starts with the M and it just follows through. That's what it looked like.
There's our boy.
There he is.
See, even just
what is that fisheye lens that they're using?
No, but even just that clean gray suit, it's very crisp.
Yeah, it's very crisp. And she screams.
They're in like a photo booth together.
It's like the submarine at the Carnegie Museum for the kids.
For the kids, bro.
Anywho, she screams Mika, and that's what makes him wake up. But of course, like she's already possessed at that point, or whatever. Or maybe she snaps out of it. I don't know. But he comes running downstairs, and that's when he fucking flies right back through.
Ooh.
But the sixth one ends, and it makes you see that she didn't scream Mika because of the demon. She screams Mika because of the black kid that was the protagonist in the sixth movie. Jumps through a fuck off time portal and lands in their house, and that's who she sees.
Interesting.
So it's
why is there a time portal?
The sixth one gets weird.
I'm gonna have to investigate the series, aren't I?
Yeah, we're gonna have to pick a day. I'm off the next 3 days. We're gonna have to pick a day and just watch all 6 Paranormal Activity. I'm sure they're streaming.
I would hope so. All right, rank the series in order from greatest to least greatest.
Well, I'll do this much. The first one's the best one.
No, I mean rank. These are separate series.
Okay, then I don't know. All right. Oh, you're gonna give me series to rank.
Yes.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Grave Encounters.
Oh, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna go Paranormal Activity, Grave Encounters, Blair Witch.
Yeah.
That's what it's gotta be.
Grave Encounters.
Really? Like, honestly, one of the greatest comeback stories of my lifetime.
Yeah.
What started off as a complete joke, and it ended up being like, they're not good, but they're just so entertaining.
They're not good, but it's not even like they're so bad they're good, because they're really not that bad either.
No.
They're nonsensical.
So the thing with...
Especially the end of the second one.
Yeah. So the thing with the first movie that I may have brought up, so if there's any Chairman fans, what up? But...
Hit us up.
We watched, when we reviewed movies, as the whole podcast, we watched the first Grave Encounters, and I remember it was funny to me because if there's any Ghost Adventures fans, it's like Ghost Adventures, Grave Encounters. Are you kidding me? The whole movie is like shot for shot a retelling of a grave or of a Ghost Adventures episode.
Yeah.
And I remember just like laughing my ass off the whole way. And then at some point completely forgot that it was borderline parody.
Yeah.
And I was in.
It was captivating.
I was in. And I still have...
It took some of the ideas from, like, Blair Witch.
Yeah.
That, like, time didn't pass.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is that, like, I've never seen a movie steal everything about the movie and pull it off so authentically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really is the greatest mutt film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just, it's major parts of all these, like, hugely influential horror movies and shows. And it's just its own little bastard pizza.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Grave Encounters 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was at a different place, wasn't it?
It was in a different place, yeah.
But the dude from the first one.
No, it wasn't.
Was it the same place?
It's the same place. They go back.
But it's a different team.
Crew. Yeah, it's
and they find the dude from the first one.
Yeah.
Who's batshit insane now.
He's batshit insane, yeah.
We should rewatch it.
I think it's his brother. It's his sister, right? Like it's his sister.
Which was also ripped from. Well, actually, this was before Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
So
and maybe they stole off.
Yeah,
you know, a little quid pro quo. You steal from me, I steal from you.
Now I am the master.
But yeah, it's like his sister or whatever, and she believes that he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those things where I always tell people when they watch TV shows, if you don't see the death on screen, they're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you see people die on screen.
Yeah.
If you set a precedent where you're gonna kill people on screen, and someone quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here with the bunny ears, if they die off screen, they ain't dead. Hopper is alive, I'm telling you now.
And like if you see them get cut in half at the waist and they fall down a bottomless pit, they're still coming back.
They're still coming back, you know?
It
you
might
never
be
know.
like, oh, that's not really canon because it's in a TV show and not the movie. But hey, they'll shoehorn him into the end of one of the movies.
Man too angry to die. That's what he was.
Yeah, I've been saying it.
Anywho, yeah, it's so back when we were doing like joke titles, like funny titles in the computer, not when we publish them. Every now and again, because it's high up on the list, I always see the episode we did titled Red Door Bullshit Lies.
Yes.
And it makes me laugh every time.
That movie ended so weirdly. The portal thing.
Yeah, that ended with a portal thing too. It's like they picked the same place as like the new Valhalla for the Thor movies. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like a grassy field on the edge of a cliff.
Oh yeah. Valhalla.
But we may have to rewatch this movie. If you guys want to see us review movies again, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, write to us.
Shoot us a DM. You have our phone numbers. Just fucking text
Honestly,
us.
You do.
So do that. Or follow us on social medias, you know.
Or do both.
You know what? You really should be doing everything.
Yeah. Because we're doing everything.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So listen, this is where we're at right now, okay? This is a really... gestational period, and anybody that jumps on now will be on our coattails when we get bigger.
Yeah,
you'd only be doing yourself a service by helping us.
Exactly.
So help us help you.
This is pro bono work too.
Yeah.
Someday you're gonna have to pay for this.
Yeah. So I mean, if you do it now, if you get us hyped up now, maybe you won't pay in the future. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, it wouldn't take a lot to get me to rewatch the Grave Encounters movies. I'm still waiting for the third.
I think there should... Would you rather see a Tron 3 or a Grave Encounters 3?
Don't make me choose.
Choose.
You know what? I'll say Grave Encounters 3 because I feel like there's unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
Tron Legacy, it ends on a hopeful note. I think there's unfinished business there too, but I think it also ends on a more hopeful note.
Yeah, Whereas
Grave Encounters 2, there's a possessed dude murdering people out in the wild.
Doesn't he die?
Does he get killed by the police?
I don't know. I thought he died from like falling rubble or something.
I don't know.
I thought he got the old Lannister treatment.
He gets the portal out. This is spoiler alert for Grave Encounters 2.
Yeah, this 2000s D movie.
Yeah. Because I don't even remember which character it was. I just know someone.
I bet his name was like Mike.
Yeah. He goes through the red door portal thing.
Mm-hmm. Which is literally a red door. It's a French door.
Gets out in some like field out in the middle of like Southern California somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Grave Encounters 2 came out a year later. Right. They had that shit cocked and ready to go.
So for all we know, the dude may have been locked in that building for a whole year. I wonder if it's a part 1, part 2 thing, Infinity War Endgame type thing.
Maybe.
But I feel like I remember a shot of him like on a highway and police pulling up.
Oh, that's right, dude.
But I honestly can't remember if that was the beginning or the end.
That's right. Okay, so what it was the movie was leaked. The initial movie, like their footage, was leaked online.
Of Grave Encounters 2?
No, of Grave Encounters 1.
Okay.
And... Oh, dude, that's awesome. I didn't even know that. Dylan Playfair is in Grave Encounters 2. Dylan Playfair plays Riley on Letterkenny.
Okay.
That's
great. That's where he got his start.
Yeah, maybe. But
or she.
It's a guy.
Okay.
He's actually really cute. I'd fuck him.
Because Dylan and Riley are both names that can go either way.
He's cutie. He's got a good flow.
Dylan.
I'm pretty sure he plays.
People say Dylan, and all I can think of is Apollo Creed.
Dylan. He's a cutie.
Melon. Oh yeah.
I don't remember him.
Is he the crazy dude?
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's not the bathtub dude.
Oh god, dude, that bathtub scene fucked me up.
The arms that's coming out of the walls got me. It was like half funny, half like when you think about it, oh, that'd be really disturbing to be a part of.
Blech. But
were they? Was it nurses or like nuns that were super scary? I think it was nurses.
It was probably nurses
because it was like a sanitarium.
It was like a little Silent Hill, yeah.
Wow. We should rewatch this.
We should rewatch it.
We should rewatch those, and we should watch Haunting of Hill House.
I don't think I've seen that.
I have not.
Oh, girl.
Oh, child.
Interesting.
Child.
You could watch and review 2 years later.
Yeah, before the second season comes out.
I'll do it. I got nothing but time this week.
Next week, not so much.
It's an important addendum.
Next week, dearth of free time.
Truly. We are fastly approaching our runtime. So do you have any final thoughts? You never really answered my question.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know their names.
This guy.
What was your question? Oh, classic movie great movie that you wouldn't watch again. You probably won't watch again. Irishman.
Oh, you watched it?
I did watch it.
Where did you find 17 hours?
Well, you should be unemployed. It works wonders. That Marriage Story I probably won't watch again.
Yeah. Was that worth the watch the first time?
I thought so. But it's like one of those things like I don't know when I would ever be in the mood to watch that again.
That has a lot to do with it. Is less the runtime always. So like with my whole thing with Paul Thomas Anderson, like that's basically the runtime.
Yeah.
But there's a couple movies that are just so emotionally draining. Like I would assume A Marriage Story, where it's just like, where would you even find? You couldn't even be in the emotion. That's a one and done.
Yeah. Manchester by the Sea is another one. I think we all know my saga with that at this point. I thought it was a genuinely good movie, but
which foils very well against my saying La La Land 8 times in theaters.
I tried to see it once, and no, I guess get this tragic story. Oh man.
You saw Moonlight though.
I did see Moonlight. I love Moonlight.
What do you think about that one?
I'd watch that again.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of... So, something like Manchester by the Sea, the factors that work in its favor are like great performances and a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight, you get great performances, great story. The fact that it's not something that I understand going into it.
Oh, okay.
It's not something that I'm familiar with. Grief, we've all felt.
Don't really know grief so much.
No, grief in like Manchester by the Sea, we've all felt some sort of grief.
Yeah.
But the other thing that Moonlight has is just an incredible soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of chopped and screwed mixes that are just chef's kiss.
Oh, double chef's kiss.
Yes. Italian chef's kiss. Trying to think. Some older movies, like A Bridge Too Far.
Oh, yeah.
Thought it was good. Cast is stacked,
Yeah.
but and that one's like partially like the length, and the other is just like there's not so much a story as it is just like historical retelling, but with characters.
This poor motherfucker.
Yeah. You imagine having to go up against the doll in the first round.
That I would honestly just forfeit, I think.
It's like
Just save yourself
you're going up against ranked number 1 in the world
for like 30 years in a row.
Yeah. And he even after like injuries, he's still got it. He's a natural righty. Mm-hmm. He learned to play left-handed to throw the competition off because there aren't as many left-handed players. He's a sadist.
Yeah, honestly. And they got Ellen DeGeneres doing commentary.
Yeah. Oh, what's up with this?
What's the meaning of this shit?
Tennis, am I right? Sorry.
All right.
Anywho, there are others. I'm just struggling to think of them. I feel like I just watched one. What was it though?
Couldn't tell you.
Come on, what was it?
Ants.
I don't know that I've ever seen Ants.
I mean, I've never seen Ants either. You know why? Because the Superior movie came out in the exact same year.
Bug's Life?
Hell yeah.
I feel like you have it backwards. I thought you were Team Ants and
Oh, hell no. I'm Team Bug's Life. All the way, bruh.
Flick.
I'm more of a PT Flea kind of guy. And the Roly Bugs.
I was too young to appreciate that joke at the time. All right, let me see what my diary says.
Who was PT Flea?
John Ratzenberger, wasn't it?
Yep, that sounds right.
Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was great. Probably will never watch it again.
That's the thing, is because there's so much stress in the last half hour of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing with, like, when you have, not twists, I won't call it a twist ending, but, like, very stressful endings where you don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
That really only works, like, once. Unless you're watching it with somebody who doesn't know, and then their stress becomes your own.
Yeah.
That really only works once. So, like, I wouldn't get the same enjoyment out of it. Now, it was a great performance by everybody.
Yes.
I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just that, like, it's just, I don't know.
Roma's another one.
It's like a gun. It's like one of those guns that the Joker has that, like, shoots out a flag that says bang.
Yeah.
The first time you pull the trigger, is it a real gun? I don't know. But the second time, you know it's just going to go bang.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of which, Joker was a movie that I didn't like, and I hope to never watch again.
it won a SAG award the other day, bruh.
It did.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix did.
Joaquin,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, Rivers' brother.
Yeah, he's got like 17 brothers, and they're all Waco, Texas kids. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, were they all the, like the cultist kids?
Yeah.
Were they really?
I swear to God.
Okay, Google.
Look, don't you Google against me.
I'm Googling
my
against
fucking
you.
phone. Use your iPhone.
Wah, Queen. Yaas, Queen Phoenix. I think that might be the name of this episode.
Yaas, Queen Phoenix.
Let's just, I guess, go to his Wikipedia. is Wikipedia. Joaquin Raphael Phoenix. Knee bottom.
Okay. That's why they had such freaky deaky names.
Let's go. Early life.
Read it out loud.
Phoenix was born Joaquin Raphael Bottom on October 28, 1974, in the Rio Piedras district of San Juan, Puerto Rico, to American parents from the U.S. mainland. He's the third of 5 children, following River and Rain, and preceding Liberty and Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Must be hippies.
Great. Keep going.
All of whom are actors.
Yep.
He also has a half-sister named Jodine from a previous relationship of his father. He was born with a microform cleft lip, which has been mistaken for a scar on his upper lip. Phoenix's father, John Lee Bottom, is originally from California and is of mostly English, some German, and remote French ancestry. What is remote ancestry?
Couldn't tell you.
Look that up while I look this up. His mother, Arlen, was born in New York City to Ashkenazi Jewish parents. Alright, I'm laughing because in my mind, I always say Shaka Khan. Like the hit singer Shaka Khan. Whose families were from Russia and Hungary. They married in 1969 and years later joined a religious cult, the Children of God.
Told you.
And began traveling throughout South America. His parents eventually became disenchanted with the Children of God and decided to leave the group at the age of 3. They decided to leave the group at the age of 3. Wait, this is a weird sentence.
Sound it out.
His parents eventually became disenchanted with the Children of God, semicolon. They decided to leave the group, and at the age of 3, comma, he returned to the U.S. Okay, I missed "and" the first time.
Okay.
I was like, why are they leaving it at the age of 3? How did they become disenchanted so young?
See, I told you.
Well, now I gotta look up Children of God. Which takes you to the page, The Family International. It was originally named Teens for Christ.
Oh, I think that's that documentary. With, like, the crying kids. I know you've seen it because it was, like, used as a joke.
Salvation, apocalypticism, spiritual revolution and happiness, and distrust of the outside world.
Yeah.
Which the members called the system. It began a method of evangelism called flirty fishing that used sex to show God's love and mercy and win converts, resulting in controversy. David Berg, who was first called Moses David in the Texas press, gave himself the titles of King, the last end-time prophet Moses, and probably his best nickname, David.
I'd say. So, on a final note, remote ancestry is basically the line of people from whom a person's descends is referred to as their ancestry. A second meaning relates to evolution. So, I'm assuming it's like if you're something before the mainstream thing. So it would be like saying that your ancestry is remote German and that you are like Visigoth.
Oh, okay. So it's like the difference between saying like, oh, I'm German, but like Bohemian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you were your ancestors that you can most directly be like related to lived in a cave in the Rhineland Valley, but we're just going to call you German or Austrian because that's just the easiest thing to do. So now that we all know that, I have one last question for you. Answer honestly.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
No.
No?
No, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, get out of here.
You're such a kidder.
I am a kidder.
That was funny. I like that a lot. Yeah, I thought this was a good one. I thought this was a good little episode.
We had some great discussion.
And I'm excited to keep that going. So yeah, remember
the blues slide guitarist Jeremy Spencer of Fleetwood Mac was a member of this cult.
Yeah, I did know that as well. Like, share, subscribe. Do tell your friends. Do hire us to parties. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you, babies. don't be afraid to pass this along and share. Or Sunny, however you prefer it. And I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
Anyway, for We Have Fun, I've been Kevin.
I have always, am always, Douglas. Hitherto, Dangle McSwangle.
Is that it?
First of his name.
You could
probably last.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, so that being said, we will catch you next week, we promise. And hopefully big things coming.
Yeah.
Thanks, babies.
See you later, ball bags.
We'll see ya. Bye-bye.